Yo, what is going on, my fellow weebs? Chrono here, and welcome back to the channel. So today we are here in Crystal of Atlan. It's a game I have been looking forward to for quite some time, and I wanted to make a quick tips video covering some things that I've come across while playing the game personally. If you're curious as to why, stick around. You might find out things are explained a little bit differently than you're used to. By the way, let's go ahead and get started with the video. So we're currently on the cusp of starting up day 3 of Crystal of Atlan. So it's a little bit late as far as these types of videos go, but I wanted to fully understand what it was I was looking at and doing before I really talk with you guys about this. That, and I didn't really have beta access to the game, so I really couldn't test these things out ahead of time. And things tend to change from betas to the full releases, and quite a few things did. Now, I've had some time to not only play through the game myself personally with the character that is obviously my character on screen, while also doing a ton of research around to get a good idea of what exactly this game is about. And I feel like I have basically compiled all relevant information that could be useful to you as a player as you're going through your journey in Crystal of Atlan. Now, there are plenty of other videos that kind of go over this topic and explain different things, but one thing I've learned and one thing I've seen that's going to be a bit different here versus those videos, and why I think this might be a bit better for a lot of players, is those videos are explained as people who have played Crystal of Atlan. A lot of systems might make sense after you understand them. However, if you haven't ever played Crystal of Atlan, a lot of things are going to be really foreign and it's going to be really complicated. So the way I'm going to explain things, you're going to find I'm going to compare them to a lot of other games that are fairly popular, or mechanics that are fairly popular in games like this, to make them a bit easier to overall understand. I apologize, this is going to be a bit wordy, so just grab a snack, kick back, toss it on in the background as you're playing, and hopefully you'll learn something as you go along. So, starting up Crystal of Atlan, there's probably a couple of questions players have immediately when they first start. First thing is first, you're probably thinking to yourself, how do I customize my character? Just go through the story. As you go through the story and level, you're going to unlock your actual advanced class. You're going to go ahead and choose, and once you do that, it'll actually take you to a specific NPC, which we will go over to really quick right now. This NPC right here, CC, you'll talk with them. It'll give you the ability to change your appearance. You'll be able to customize the appearance of your character, usually face, skin tone, hairstyle based on the character you choose, hair color, as well as the color of your starting base clothing. So you'll be able to customize your character fairly quickly, but you do have to play kind of as the base character for the first couple of minutes. I'd say maybe first 15. Next question I've seen pop up a lot is about your class choice. So as far as classes go in Crystal of Atlan, I'm going to give you a blanket response that's going to cover most situations, but keep in mind things are going to evolve and change as time goes on. If you're concerned with PvE, every class is viable, every class is playable. If you're looking for support, the Scythe Guard tends to be the most supporty class in the game as far as supporting your allies around you. Everything else is mostly generally pushed towards PvP. If you're concerned primarily with PvP meta, the classes at the top, I believe at the moment, mostly are Gunner, Berserker, and I want to say Magician. And if you're ever curious while you're playing the game, you can quite literally go directly to where PvP is located. So you can click over here, I go to ranked match, click here on rankings, and you can just click ranked match, and you can see the classes that are at the top. As you can see, solo ranked, you have Gunner, you have a Scythe Guard, you have a Gunslinger, or so you have a Gunner, and wait, this is the other one, right? I think it's Bounty Hunter and Gunner. I think this is the Gunner specifically, but yeah, you're going to find those classes are basically at the top. Scythe Guard's really good. Gunner is going to be really solid. You're going to find Berserker pretty high up there. It's interesting to see a Magi Blade up, but to each his their own, I suppose. And that's pretty much it when it comes to class choices. Don't let it really cover too much when you're looking at your class. You can swap back and forth, at least before level 45. You can swap back and forth for free, and in case you're curious on how you do that, it's literally just as simple as clicking skill, and you just click the other class and you'll be able to swap over to the opposite class. Now, if you do get past 45, you do have to buy a item. As you saw the pop-up come up there, the item cost 1,000 of the, I don't even know what this currency is called. I think it's the Prismatium, or it might be the Opal. It costs 1,000 of that currency, and you can swap over basically once. You don't unlock both sides of them. So more or less pick one and move forward with it. Okay, so you're early on. What are you doing? What should you actually be focusing on? Just do your story. That's pretty much going to be it. In the first day, if you're just doing story, you're going to go through adventure. Follow the storyline. It's going to take you through all of chapter 1, all of chapter 2, and after chapter 2, you're going to hit with a 24-hour timer. Now, I know for a lot of people, this is a bit of a bummer. You're like, oh, I'm getting out of story. There is a lot of things for you to do during that 24-hour timer. And you're going to go ahead and take that time that it pushes you away from doing the story and continuing to level up to go ahead and take care of those things. Now, if you are free to play, you're actually not going to hit that 24-hour timer. You're going to be 10 stamina short. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and use a little bit of battery. About 10 battery, I believe, will be enough for you to go ahead and hit the final portion of that story. And you know you're done, where you'll be, it's not going to say waiting until, it'll say something else, and it'll give you a little timer here. Basically, push the story until it's done. You're going to be like 32 by the time it's finished. No big deal. Go ahead and get it finished. Now, if you do purchase the pass, the monthly pass thing, it pushes your stamina up to 140, meaning you have 10 stamina left over. If you're someone that does that, instead, use the extra 10 stamina on elite mission, the elite mission of the current tier that we're at. So at that point in the first day, it's going to be chapter 2. The same thing applies for the second day, and we'll talk about the second day here in just a second really quick, but more or less, you're just going to use that stamina. You want to use your stamina. You don't want to leave stamina left over, because it does fully refresh after reset. So it's not a situation where it ticks up slowly over time. You just use your stamina. You basically get a daily amount of stamina. You use it and it refreshes overall, instead of you having to wait over 24 hours basically and be kind of forced into playing at specific times. All right, so you're cruising, you're doing some story quests, things that sort. What are you doing about gear? Should I be leveling gear? Should I be upgrading things? How should I do things? So on and so forth. The short answer is, don't really worry about upgrading anything. Just equip what they give you and keep moving forward. Now, you're going to come across situations where you're going to get these specialized tickets. I don't think I have any. I think I've used all the ones I've gotten. I think I've gotten lucky enough to get any more. Let me see if I can find a place where it shows one. All right, here's a good spot. So you're eventually going to come across these tickets. These tickets are specific to levels. So you'll see this is for level 45 armor plus 12 voucher. More or less, go ahead and slap this on a level 45 piece of gear if you happen to have it. It's like you can use it later on for higher level gear. Just make sure you use it on something that is the appropriate level for it. For example, if I actually take a look at my character, I believe I have something equipped now. I'm gonna say it's this. No, is it this? There we go. Yeah, I slapped it on my boots because they were level 45 already. Bam, bam, we're all set to go. There's level 45, jumped them up to plus 12, and I mean, I'm not losing out anything by going ahead and using those. So a quick tip with circuits. Now, circuits were a little confusing at first, but basically you can go ahead and equip circuits. If you're curious as to what circuits are, how do you equate them, what exactly are we looking at here? If you have played any gacha in the recent time frame, think of Wuthering Waves echoes, think of Genshin's artifacts, ZZZ, the discs, things like that, right? Basically, this is gear that you equip, these circuits, you equip these circuits to your gear, it like slaps them on there, and they actually have substats. Now, when should you start leveling these up? When does this matter? Basically, you don't really level them until you hit the epic ones. It's not really worth your time to level any of these rare ones. You're eventually going to get to epics, and that's the ones you're going to equip. And maybe you haven't played those games before and you're curious what that actually means. Basically, this is extra equipment that tags onto your equipment in the slot specifically that has a base attribute and it has substat attributes. The base attribute goes up as this piece of equipment levels up. So you can see that this is, do I have one that's, I don't have one. Do I have, it's, okay, this is HP. Cool, perfect. So as you can see here, the base amount is 100 at level 0. It goes up to 60 at level 8. So this will increase, his base attribute will increase. And then the substats, when you hit 2, 4, 6, and 8, will roll a specific substat. Basically, you'll just get a random substat here from the listing. Now, if you're curious as to when to upgrade these, again, you don't upgrade these until you get to the epic ones. You essentially have resources that you'll get, like these little items here. You'll get these little EXP chips for leveling things up, and you'll just level them up once you actually get these. I wouldn't focus too heavily on this right this very second, just because you're not really min-maxing this heavily right now. You could min-max this for quite some time and not get all the rolls you're looking for, since this is fully RNG, but it is a good idea to go ahead and start leveling these once you get to the epic one specifically, which you will get to by day 2. And I mean, depending upon your class, it could be something that's useful for you. For example, I'm playing Berserker. HP is actually pretty useful, so I went ahead and made sure I upgrade these two, looking for some pretty solid ones that are HP. I mean, there's also other stats, you know, you have main stat crit rate, you have main stat attack on the right side. I think for every piece, I want to say so far, yeah, it's all attack. I mean, the chest and the pants have main stat HP, I want to say. Yep, I think the gloves have crit rate, crit damage, or attack speed, I want to say. Yeah, seems like it. Okay, yeah, so crit rate, crit damage, or attack speed is the main stat. And then, of course, HP for the chest piece and the pants. So it's one of the situations where you want to level these up later, but as you're going through the story, just equip them. Like you can just equip them, take advantage of the stats you have here. Don't really have to think about it too heavily. Just stack them up, hold on to them, and that's basically going to be it as far as circuits are concerned. There is a way to, of course, min-max leveling if you're curious about how you level them. You can do it however you like personally. I personally just level from 1 to 8 and see what I get as far as my substat rolls. You might want to go from like 1 to 4, and if you get, you know, 2 decent substats, maybe you'll go ahead and keep rolling. Maybe both of them suck, you'll go ahead and hold off. But if you roll up to 8 and you get nothing that you want, or they're really bad, like 3 out of 4 of them are pretty terrible, don't continue rolling that one. Just go ahead and toss it out. You can use it as actual fodder for leveling up the other ones. So a nice thing to do is, like, for example, I leveled up a bunch of these that have HP on them until I got this one here specifically. And all I did was I leveled it up, and then when I went to go level up, I could just use, you know, one of these here. It has experience. The experience I went into it to level it also goes towards this. So it works out being pretty well. Basically, you're artifact grinding here in this situation. Hopefully that makes sense. Another thing I want to go over with gearing is going to be crafting gear. Now, crafting gear, it's kind of up to you how you go about this. If you're not struggling to complete the content you're completing, you really don't need to worry about crafting gear right now. The first time that crafting gear actually really matters for you is going to be when you're going to craft these null pieces, right? It's going to be your void gear, essentially. The void gear, you usually use this as a stopgap for legendary gear later that you're going to be going after. But at level 45, you'll be able to start crafting this void gear by getting a hold of these void gear blueprints. You can buy these void gear blueprints from the void store. They were locked, I believe, on a daily rotation during the beta, but you can just purchase the blueprints outright and go ahead and make the necklace, bracers, and ring. Totally fine to do this because you do want to actually get these and upgrade them as you're going to upgrade them to level 50 variants when you unlock the next piece of content, which I believe unlocks tomorrow, I want to say, which is the Void Realm. So as far as crafting goes, that's really the only major crafting you're going to do. Now, you can do a little bit of min-max crafting as you're leveling. What I recommend usually is at the end of the story for the day. Like, for example, if you're on day 1, you've gotten to level 32, you can take a look at your resources and see, okay, what do I have? Like, what are the slots that I have for my gear? What can I craft to, like, figure out those slots, right? Now, someone will tell you, oh, you shouldn't be crafting right now, right? Like, it's not that big a deal. Don't worry about it. Realistically speaking, they're absolutely right. You don't need to worry about it. But one thing you're going to notice, if you actually take a look, let's say the chest piece right here, right? Take a look at this chest piece. We see that the materials required are basic ether and a black rock, right? Let's see if I scroll up, it's like, oh, well, you need to craft later on, right? It's gonna be more important later. Let's see a level 50 gear. Notice how it has nothing to do with those two materials. These materials are specific to the tier of the gear. So holding on to a bunch of extra materials is actually not helping you in this situation. You can min-max out and, you know, cover those individual slots that you didn't luck out and get, you know, good gear in, right? So for example, if you're, like, say, running a piece of white gear or a piece of blue gear, you didn't get a good, you know, pink piece, or you didn't get a good purple piece to cover that slot, you can at the end of the day just go ahead and craft those pieces and be done with it. Now, upgrading, it's a bit of a different story. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you when it comes to enhancing and what I would recommend as far as you go when it comes to the whole enhancement process. It's pretty quick and straightforward. Don't enhance past +2. Realistically speaking, you don't need to worry about enhancing your gear. Your weapon is going to come pre-enhanced, I believe, up to +7 if you're just doing full free to play. And if you are cool with spending a single dollar in the shop, you can take advantage of the top-up reward bonus. So the top-up reward bonus just straight up gives you a +10 weapon that levels with you. It starts out at level 10 and it continues to go up, I think, every 5 to 10 levels. It continues to go up and level with you. So, and it adapts to whatever class you're playing. So if you swap back and forth, it'll switch to that class. So if you're doing that, then cool. You're all set with your weapon. You don't have to worry about it in the slightest. And that will really carry you through the entire story. Even if it doesn't, for example, let's say you decide not to do that, right? So even if you decide not to do that, as you hit every 10 levels, you're going to get this little box here. This box is going to come with a level specific weapon. Basically gives you one of each of the classes, and it's level 7 already. So you're good. You never have to worry about a weapon at all. You'll only get one at level 50. And at 55, you get to pick a trinket. So you don't have to worry about a weapon in the slightest. They cover you the entire way across. But if you decide that you want to be a little bit, you know, stronger, you really don't want to think about it or worry about it at all, you can top up literally $1. Like I went in, I believe, is it here? I want to say, yeah. Went in here. There's a pack that's $1. Was it this one? It's not this one. I don't think it shows it here for me anymore. Because I have these tickets, these vouchers, it's going to show in the price of a voucher. But if you go into the shop here, I may not show in vouchers, it'll show in dollars. But basically it's like it's $1 in price for the item itself, and like that's it. You buy it once and it counts as you topping up, and then you get 3 days worth of rewards. So you don't have to worry about your weapon at all. You're basically gonna be good to go. And now all of those things, consider that you're running into problems. If you're having any problems whatsoever, you can just use what they give you from completing quests, from getting rewards, from using your tickets, and just you're good to go. The only time I recommend crafting, like you need to craft at least once, is it is actually a part of one of the event things here. Yeah, it's part of one of the quest list things here, is to craft one piece of gear. So crafting something isn't the worst thing in the world you can do, but I would say go ahead and do that. And then as far as upgrading it, like upgrade it to twice. It's 100% 2 times, and anything past that isn't really worth the money invested. I pushed mine past it and I tried, and it's not worth it. It goes down by like 10% every upgrade, and your gold is a very, very valuable resource that's going to diminish very quickly at high end if you're not going to whip out the credit card. So I would not recommend blowing a bunch of gold as you're going through the leveling process. It's not worth it. You're going to be replacing gear very, very quickly. All right, on to one of the final, and what I think is one of the most important and one that gets asked about a whole lot, a lot of different places that I personally have seen, alts. Where do I have to level alts? Should I level alts? When should I level alts? What should I do with my alts? What are my alts doing for me? So it took me a while to really understand the system and how it actually works, but alts essentially are used for 2 major things: more money and account power. So while you're playing your alts, you're going to get money. And when you get money on those alts, you're going to open up your inventory, you're going to open up your storage, and then, oh, look at that there. I've got another 800K here, another 200K here that I've gotten from my alts. So now I've got 1.3 mil here and 1 mil there. These are just for my alts that I play on, and I just put their gold in here because they don't need that gold. That gold is needed on my main to upgrade his gear. My alts, not so much. They don't have to go that far in this process itself. So gold is a really big part of that. Another good thing is going to be the upgrade resources. So if we go to my account storage, you can see these upgrade resources. These are going to also break down stuff, and they're going to give me these upgrade resources, which are really, really nice. So if you're breaking down these things, you can go ahead and toss them into your account storage to go ahead and pass over from your alts to your main, because your main is the one you're going to want to focus all of your gearing process on. It's mostly what the items you're going to be using. There is one other thing, and we'll talk about it a bit more when we're talking about the account power thing. I think it's over here. So it's the adventure team. So if you take a look at your adventure team, right? Well, you can first off see my 2 alts are literally 2 more berserkers. Now this is up to you. This is kind of a point of contention I've seen a lot of people talk about, but I'm going to give you just the hard facts behind this. You can decide how you want to go about this on your own. Now, characters can transfer gear, or you can transfer gear between characters. You don't really share the gear, because when you transfer a piece of gear from one character to the next, there is a 60-day lockout on that piece of gear. Meaning you can't take all of the gear off your main character and toss it to one of your alts, and you're all super juiced, and then go do more content and then toss that gear over to another character, right? Like that's not how it's going to work. However, when you are doing high tier content, you do have the chance to drop gear for your main character. So let's say example, I'm on Corno, right? And I'm doing some dungeons or some void stuff or whatever it happens to be, right? I'm doing some dungeons, something like that. And I get a really good like helmet. Well, I'm on this character here, and I know it's for Berserker, and I know I can use it on Berserker. I don't have to use it on this character. I can transfer it to my main, who might need that helmet, and now I've got an upgrade while playing on my alt. Maybe I get a good sword. Same situation. However, there is another caveat. You can also get gear for other classes. So there is a benefit to playing other classes as well on your account, that you can pass the gear to the character that would be able to make use of it best. So let's say, for example, I get something with intelligence on it instead. Well, my Magiblade will make better use of that than a Berserker will. My Berserker, I'm really more focused on personally. I really don't care about my Magiblade outside of him just funneling stuff to my Berserker, but you can make your alts more powerful in that way, and that's something you're able to do. A very common misconception is that, oh, playing the same character over and over again is wasted because you're not able to share the gear. While that is sort of true, there are benefits in that situation. While there are also benefits to playing other characters, but those all depend on how you personally play. I personally don't care about the power of my alts. I care about the power of my main. My alts are here purely to fuel my main as much as possible, with as much gear as well as much gold. And I don't really like playing anything else other than Berserker. I tried other classes I thought were kind of cool. I tried Magiblade, it just wasn't for me. I tried Warlock, again, not really my cup of tea. I just didn't really like it as much, so I'm not going to put myself through playing other classes if I don't really enjoy doing it. And the worst thing is to not enjoy doing something and being on an alt. It's just not a good combination for me when it comes to playing games. So that's why I'm personally making Berserkers. You can choose to go about making other classes as well. It's totally fine to have dupes of the same class. This was actually a concern of mine that I had when it comes to the adventure team situation. So you want to ask yourself, why are you making alts outside of course, transferring gear, funneling it to your main and the money? Well, there's also power for your account, the adventure team. Now this power goes across 6 characters total. You can have a total of 6 slots. As you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get 5 of them initially, and the 6th one comes available, I believe, when you hit level 60 or when you level all of your characters. It's one of those two. I can't remember exactly what it is. Now, the power you get from your adventure team is based on the level of all of your characters combined. You don't have to go anywhere specific to set up your adventure team. I literally just move my characters around because I wanted to look at it this way. I thought it was kind of funny, but like the displays aren't really that important. All 6 characters on your account are part of the adventure team overall, right? Now, you can see the statistics are 5 characters. We have 0 level 60s. We have 1 that's awakened so far because I messed up my Magi Blade because I didn't pay attention to how this worked. We have 1 awakened so far. And then you see these badges here, right? Look on the badge, you can see here that it's reached adventure team level 4. This is based on leveling up, getting experience, all that good stuff. You can see this says 3 out of 10. It tells me that's 10 levels that this thing can hit. If I go to something like, let's say, Jack of all trades. Jack of all trades says own 2 different awakened characters. It doesn't say 2 different awakened classes, 2 different awakened advanced classes or anything. It's just 2 different awakened characters, meaning it can be the same character if you really want it to be. As long as you get them awakened, up to 6 of them, you're going to get extra stats. Same thing for Shining Like a Star. Own a character at level 60. Got to get a character level 60 to get this. Same thing that's here. Thoroughly polished. Consume energy. As we consume energy across the account, so to consume a total of 1,000 account energy, which doesn't unlock to get level 60, we're going to get this badge here. This is the cumulative amount of all of the characters on your account. So basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be leveling 1 main character, and your alts are going to feed that main character as much as they possibly can. Now, alternatively, you can also just play them separately as you choose to and level them all, equally. And maybe you're someone who likes to play a bunch of different classes. I know there's some people that are like that. They have to have some difference to really enjoy a game, right? That's totally fine. You can do that. However, it's more beneficial for you to funnel into 1 character more often. If you're someone who likes to play multiple characters, I recommend maybe just keeping multiple characters and then just throwing the gear towards those characters that it's best used for. For me, if I get a piece of gear that's like intelligence or whatever, I'm more likely to dismantle it for the materials than I am to give it to my Magi Blade, to be honest. Will it be better to make him stronger? Absolutely. However, I'm probably going to delete him. I'm actually deleting my lock as we speak right now. My Magi Blade will likely go afterwards, and I'll probably fill these up with more Berserkers because that's just kind of what we're going to do in this situation. Again, that's my decision personally, but it does not affect the power of your account. It's just how you personally want to play it. I know that was a pretty long explanation, but I hope that covers everything when it comes to creating alts, because this is something I've seen a lot of people ask about. Why should I do this? Is this useful? Do I have to? Do I have to make different characters? So on and so forth. When you understand how the whole adventure team situation works, it's a lot easier to understand what you're really doing with it. And to be honest, it kind of just puts you in a position where you can just make your main character super strong. And I think that's super cool, because I come from playing Lost Ark a while back, and there's something you do a lot in Lost Ark. I had an entire army of the same class, and we funneled all of the gear to my main like crazy. One other thing to mention is if you happen to drop something that's good on your main, but you already have that specific piece, well, you can go over to one of your alts and you can start juicing up that secondary alt and then that tertiary alt and then so on and so forth. And that's basically all I've got for you guys today. Now, next video that we do, we'll probably cover all the different systems as far as like things you want to make sure you're covering each day, ways you can get more pulls, so on and so forth, where if you need to spend money where you can't spend money, we really don't have to spend money. And honestly, there's just so much to do in this game, man. It's absolutely insane. I will be leaving links to other resources that I personally use to find out about a lot of these things, or other content creators that I watched where I learned these things, whether it be in their streams, whether it be in their videos, or anything along those lines. Hopefully this explains it in a way that you guys understand it. If I missed anything that you guys think is super important early on, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Make sure to heart it so it moves on to the top. If you guys are looking to friend me, I actually got the name Chrono on US. Or on global, so feel free to. I know some people are concerned about the servers that they're on, but you can cross server party. That's super dope. If you happen to be on Yoda 2, was it Yodara 2, I think is what it's called. I call it Yoda all the time. If you're on Yodara 2, you can join our fleet. It is named Arcs. Just go ahead and apply, and I got you. Feel free to jump in. We are working on increasing the crew member amounts, so that way, when it does start to build up, we will have space for everyone. But yeah. Let me know how you guys are enjoying Crystal of Atlan. We'll be playing a lot more of it. I'm having a good time, and I will see all of you wonderful individuals in the next video. Take care, my friends. Peace out.